Would I be the a-hole if I made my husband change his gym because some girls flirted with him?
Maybe. I just signed up for a gym, so I wouldn't want to leave.
Oh, John's about to be heavily flirted with.
No.
Especially when he's got those big old arms on him.
No.
Well, this comes from TA CrossFit 23432. And they say, I, 38 female, had a fight with my husband, 41 male, last week when I asked him to change his gym. You know what's never going to be changed?
What?
Our ice packs, because we don't have any.
That is so true. We're frozen in time by being thawed. And Riley
Sophia's
gets to
producing today, so she's
Claps
being
in the
trained.
chat for Sophia
Claps
producing.
in the chat for Sophia. He says it's not fair to him, but I told him it was important to me. And he agreed. As a week has passed, I am not sure if I did the right thing and want to get a neutral opinion on this matter. So, we get some context here. We have been married for 12 years and have 2 wonderful kids. My husband and I were into fitness when we got married. However, life and kids happened and we slowly stopped going to the gym and gained some weight. 2 years ago, my husband just woke up one day and told me he wants to start going to the gym again. He is very disciplined, and not only did he lose all the excess weight, but also started gaining a ton of muscles. As if the gym was not enough, he started doing CrossFit 6 months ago. So man is getting fit as a fiddle.
Shredded like cheese.
Shredded like a surfer on a wave.
Shredded like a gnarly narding.
Shredded like a guitar solo.
Shredded like lettuce. That's pretty good.
Shredded like putting a person in a wood chipper.
Sam just he brings an anti-joke that is actually funny and tragic at the same time.
I think my joke niche is tragedy.
Yes, it is.
When we were kids, Sam had this one joke. He was like, why did the girl fall off the swing? Because she had no arms.
Why did you? Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's hard to swing when you have no arms.
That is true.
It's all core.
Or why did the plane crash? The pilot was a piece of toast.
Those are great jokes. Those are great jokes. Anyway, he goes to CrossFit 4 times a week. He goes there early morning and is generally back there, and is generally back before the kids are up. He made a lot of friends there and has generally been in a very happy mood. So basically, the husband's shredded, happy, there for his kids. Nothing could go wrong.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
But it ain't. But it ain't. Because I won't lie, he looks amazing, and I can't believe he still gives me butterflies even after 12 years of marriage.
That still sounds perfect.
That actually did get cuter.
It got cuter. But 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, my husband decided to invite all of his CrossFit friends for a barbecue at our house as the weather was getting nicer. He had around 9 friends come over, and it was my first time meeting this group of friends. Put an I see you in the chat if you see what's coming. John, if you were to paint this I see you, what would you see?
You know, I'm kind of envisioning this beautiful man with curly brown hair, who's just really shredded, has found an amazing woman. He brings his fitness buddies over, and there's just potentially 8 women that he's invited that are just coming after him, are all
and
over
they are
him.
all shredded like a
And
man
they're
in a
all
wood
shredded
chipper.
like him, and he has to figure out what to do in the moment because they're just trying to. Everyone wants a piece.
Yeah, they're trying to shred him.
Yeah.
Piece of protein. They're tearing him apart.
Delicious.
Tearing him limb from limb. Trying to get a little snack.
Ooh.
Like when you have, when you have those giant pieces of beef jerky in the big pack, and you're like, I can't possibly fit all of this in my mouth, so you tear it off.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing with Riley.
Exactly.
Riley is in the room, by the way.
Yes.
And
that's
looking
who I was talking about.
Shredded.
Yeah.
Anyway, barbecue, 9 people out of his friend group. There are 5 girls and 4 guys, all in amazing shape. 3 of the girls joined me in the kitchen to help me, and we were having a conversation. They were giving me all the hot tea about each of the guests in the backyard. And from what I gathered, all the people in the group were between the ages of 35 to 40, and all of them were single.
Oh, red flag?
One of the guys was married, and the other 3 were single. Oh, all of the women are single. One of the guys is married. So basically, out of the 9, 8 are single. A lot of single energy in this friend group.
As Torpid Turnip says, this party is going to be absolutely amazing.
I was asking him about their relationship status and learned that many of the girls in the group had slept with one or more of the guys that were there.
Oh.
Yeah, like of the 9 people. The 3 girls who were with me in the kitchen told me that they were all divorced and not really interested in marriage or a long-term relationship anymore. They commented on how guys at CrossFit are hot and discussing about how each of them was in bed, funny stories, etc. One of the girls asked me how I met my husband. They mostly wanted to know who approached who. I chased him, as they were all commenting on how shy my husband is. One of them let it slip that he is completely oblivious when someone flirts with him. So there are people flirting with him.
You just spilled your beans, girl.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Spilled your beans so we can flick the bean to that story. Anyway, I will never forget. There was this one girl told me of like her first crush. I will never forget this sentence. She said her first crush ever was Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And she said, I will never forget the first time I flicked my bean to Zuko. And that was the first time I've ever heard that phrase.
And he's used it every day ever since.
And I've used it every day ever since.
God bless.
Anyway, I asked it and learned that the 2 girls standing outside had at times tried to be very flirty with him as a fun competition to see when he will notice it.
A fun competition?
Like, that is actually, I feel like they're telling on themselves. Like, yeah, we flirted with your husband.
It's like a power move. They're like, oh yeah, we're just out here, we're like flirting with him and like going after him. Isn't that hilarious, wife?
Also, it sounds like they're increasing the amount that they flirt with him too. So it's like, right. When will he get it? And then it's just like, they're just like nut grabbing at a certain point.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
I mean, like, when does it stop? Because they said they're escalating the flirtatiousness. Like,
when they marry
get your
him.
peanuts here. Yeah, potentially. Well, they all said it was just a prank and complimented me on how awesome and loyal my husband is. Well, I guess at least they did a loyalty.
It's just a prank, bro.
It's just a prank.
I told them I love you. It's a prank. Hey, Sophia, do you remember those 2 glorious weeks where you couldn't speak? You remember that?
2
time?
horrible weeks.
Right,
You
yeah.
sounded like you were whispering always, like you were in the quiet place.
Yeah. What was going on there?
I had laryngitis and no one cared. Everyone
Oh.
was mean to me. I had to whistle for attention. It was
I
horrible.
thought she was faking it. I thought she was just doing it for the
I
attention.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I was convinced she just wanted to annoy me with her whistles.
I didn't know how to whistle beforehand, but I gained the ability to whistle.
That's
when
not true. It was still awful.
No, it
The
wasn't.
whistling was terrible.
It was great.
I hated it.
Well, Sophia, while none of us here cared the way you deserved, there's one place where you would have found someone who would care the way you deserve.
Who is that?
ZocDoc!
No way.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments with them online.
And these docs all have verified reviews from actual real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter for ones that take your insurance.
And treat basically any condition you're searching for.
The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even the same day.
I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should freaking use it too.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the show.
At the end of the night, I was talking to my husband and told him about my conversation with the girls. He told me that these people are bonkers, but they are fun to hang out with at the gym, especially when they're flirting with me.
Actually?
No, I added that last bit. I asked him about the 2 girls that were flirting with him, and he said he did not initially notice, but then it became too obvious, and he thought if he does not react, then they will stop and move on to the next quote-unquote victim. This made me feel very uneasy. It may be my own insecurities about my own body, but I do not want these girls with amazing bodies flirting with my husband. I know he will never reciprocate, but I just don't think they are a good idea. I talked about this with him, and he says that all that he cares about is getting in good shape. We had a fight when I told him to either stop being friends with these horny single people,
Oh God,
or change the gym. He did not take it well and started resisting. I eventually told him this is my red line, and I do not want him to hang out with girls who are single and ready to pounce on anyone with a hot body. We had a big fight, but eventually he told me he will change the gym at the month end, as it would be super awkward to go to this gym and suddenly stop interacting with people. As I have calmed down, I feel bad to make him do something that he might resent me for. Hence, I wanted an objective opinion. Am I wrong to make my husband stop hanging out with these girls when I know for a fact that my husband will never be disloyal to me? I know it's my insecurities, but I just don't feel comfortable to have him around half-naked, beautiful girls who would be ogling him and flirting with him as a game, even after knowing he has a wife and 2 kids. And there are some relevant comments and an update, but John, what do you think? Is OP overreacting?
Well, I do have some thoughts, and I'm going to be very curious to ask our very own producer, Riley, because I feel like he has even more specific context, unique context on this scenario.
Riley CrossFits all the time.
He's literally made for this.
He's literally said the CrossFit girls are the craziest.
Oh.
Back in my hometown, there's a lot of like younger people at my CrossFit gym, and they're pretty good, most of them, but like I would go to other CrossFit gyms and there'd be younger people, and you could kind of feel that sexual tension in the gym, and you could definitely feel it at the other gym too. But like whenever you're working out, you're releasing this certain chemical, and like you're working out with other people, and it's like you're going through this together, and it's kind of a bonding experience as well. So like you kind of can't help it. But there are different CrossFit gyms that have different vibes. Like there's some with like an older demographic that are like well off, and like basically what times you go to the CrossFit gym. Like if you go to a noon class, there's probably like not a lot of young people going there. There's like people that are married or like retired or whatever. So depends on when you go and where you are.
So John, you are recently a gym member.
Very recent.
Right. So you start going to the gym. You're getting shredded. Looking like a snack. And John already looks like a snack, but now he's going to be a king-size goodie bag, right? So he goes into the gym looking like the king-size goodie bag he is, long, luscious locks. Oh, there's some girls that start flirting with him. He's oblivious. He doesn't know. And then your girlfriend meets them, and she's like, oh, wow, they are telling stories about how they have been flirting with my boy. Would you change gyms if you noticed that your girlfriend was uncomfortable?
I would go to every single one of those women and say, hey, you're like making me uncomfortable. You're doing all these innuendos. Like I'm gonna ask you to stop.
You're calling me a goodie bag where I'm just trying to work.
Because flip the scenarios. If this is a woman and all these guys are going up to her, everyone's like, yes, of course. Like if she's uncomfortable, she should voice her concerns and be able to have that space. So as a guy, same thing. I'm going to go to these people. I'm telling them, hey, you're making me uncomfortable. You need to stop, and kind of just like stop interacting with those people. The one caveat, and this was what I was actually asking Riley, was I feel like it's okay. Riley just gave us the full CrossFit like breakdown.
He's like, CrossFit is really sexual. Let me tell you, there's this oozing chemical that comes when you work out with people. And I feel like I was about to get launched into like an erotica fanfic novel about like CrossFit turned lovers turned steamy, spicy sleep extravaganza. And it obviously does happen. But what was your actual question?
I was wondering, because at a gym, it seems very easy to avoid people. Is it easy to avoid people at a CrossFit?
No, because in CrossFit gyms, they're very like community
poke your head out.
community oriented. So like they kind of like want to like be like, hey, make sure you're talking to everyone and saying hey to everyone. So that's why.
Yeah, I feel like the smaller the gym, the harder it is going to be to avoid someone. So
that is a good point.
So I think first thing OP's husband should do, instead of just saying change gyms, I think OP should just say, hey, can you just like establish some boundaries with them?
Yes.
Instead of making them implicit, let's make them explicit.
Yes.
Where it's like, hey, my wife isn't going to be comfortable with me being friends with you if you're constantly hitting on me. So like, tone it down.
I feel like I would say, like, hey, you're making me uncomfortable. Like, can we like cool it down on all
that's
the
better
stuff.
instead of putting it on
Yeah.
the wife. Would you still be friends with them?
I think given, and that's why I wanted to ask for context from our resident expert, Riley. I think while the wife should ask to first set boundaries, he might have to ultimately just switch. That might be because of the type of gym that it is.
That feels so
It is a lot.
That feels
it is a lot.
extreme.
I will readily admit that
And
it is a lot.
also, I think about it from his perspective too. Like it seemed, I don't know. It seems like there was a drastic change in how he was feeling, how he was looking. His like he is a happier person, and his wife is noticing that, and he now has this friend group that he feels comfortable in, and you're essentially not only saying you can't have any of these women in your life anymore, but you can't have any of these men in your life anymore if you're changing gyms. So I feel like that's a big ask.
It is a big ask.
If I was OP, and I noticed this, I would say, hey, it is making me uncomfortable, you having all these single friends that are flirting with you. I think if you're going to continue these relationships, one, I don't know if I would feel comfortable you hanging with like them one-on-one if they've been like aggressively flirting with you in the past. But could you just establish some boundaries and say like, hey, not comfortable with how you're talking with me, it just makes me uncomfortable. I think if they set that, if he sets that boundary and then they're respectful of it, I think that's fine, and I would feel comfortable then.
In reality, I don't know. I feel like after that, they'll just kind of drift apart, just like the reality of the situation. If someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, you've been making me like really uncomfortable and da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
But I think there's a way to say it. Like if there was someone, if someone was flirting with me and I was just like, hey, just wanted to let you know, like, I'm very, like, I love my wife, I love my kids, and I know you could even say, I know the flirting is in good fun and all, and I appreciate that, but like I just don't want to like engage like that, and I also don't want to make my wife uncomfortable or anything, like, and if it makes me feel uncomfortable, but I love hanging out. I think there's a way that you could do it where it's just like, stop flirting with me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way to navigate it where you still could maintain that friend group relationship.
I don't know, to be honest. I think it'll really depend on the person, but
you're more for, you would cut off. I would probably do boundaries.
I'm not saying you cut off. I'm saying like once you set the boundary, I think they'll naturally like split and not really be like,
I don't know because it sounds like they aren't flirting with him anymore. Like it sounds like it's,
I thought it was, yeah.
My understanding is it was in the past, and it's like, oh, like he's so clueless, and they've kind of like stopped doing it.
I thought they were saying they've been ramping it up because he hasn't like
I think it was like a fun game initially.
Yeah.
And they were ramping it up, but they don't really.
One husband now is planning on moving gyms, so it's about to be.
No, but I think when they invited everyone over to the barbecue,
right,
they were like, "Oh, we were doing this fun game where we would ramp up how much we would flirt with him."
Right.
But I think that's a past thing. Like you wouldn't tell the wife that you were presently.
Well, I
thought
that's what the insanity of the. I
don't think that. I don't think that's Sophia. What do you think? I don't think that's what happened.
I think it was. It sounded like they were telling her presently that they were doing it.
I don't think it was present.
We've heard people admit crazier things in stories.
Then if it was like, yeah, I'm flirting with your husband every day, and you're telling the person that is,
because it seems like they didn't think it was wrong.
No, it sounded like they were like, oh yeah, we flirt with him, and he's just like he's super oblivious.
The exact sentence is, I asked about it, the flirting, and learned that the two girls standing outside, so the two girls that were not on the inside, had at times tried to be flirty with him as a fun competition to see when he will notice it. They all said it was just a prank and complimented me on how awesome and loyal my husband is.
It sounds like they're saying will notice it. So it sounds like it's.
So then, it's not the people that are talking to her. It's like these two other people.
Yeah, that I didn't realize. Yeah.
So I think like in that case, if that ever happens again, husband should explicitly like say, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. And then if it doesn't stop, just like cut them out. It sucks. If he had to move gyms, he's going to lose all his friends. That's lame.
Move the class. I think that's the
But then here's all of his friends
here.
are going at the same time.
Yeah, but like at least he doesn't have to leave the gym completely. And maybe there is like 1 or 2 friends that comes over, and he'll probably meet a very similar group in a different class time. I think that's probably the ultimate solution here. Man, we really dove deep into this.
Yeah, we did.
We dissected every nook and cranny today, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like I'm more on the side of making boundaries, just because like I feel like it is a slippery slope to enforce your insecurities on a partner. But it feels like John's more like
You make the boundary, and the it essentially is cutting off, because I am predicting it would result in a splitting of the relationship, of the friendship.
But there are more things in this story.
Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
So, relevant comments. I'm going to be completely honest with you. As someone who has been doing CrossFit since 2009 and have coached at multiple gyms since 2013, I can tell you CrossFit is a hotbed for cheating. And I've seen what you're describing more times than I can count.
Wow.
I've seen literally dozens of marriages break up when one person buys into CrossFit, as it is as much a social aspect as a working out aspect, and the other spouse is left behind. I myself met my now wife at CrossFit, so while many here will tell you you're overreacting or you're wrong, and I'm not saying you are not wrong to some degree, they may not fully understand the manner in which many CrossFit gyms tend to function. And they'll say any gym is like that, but they are wrong. Most gyms do not have the social community aspect of CrossFit, so yes, I would be wary.
Wow, a balanced and contextual comment from Reddit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Specialist Avocado, shout out to you.
That was actually a great breakdown, I
still feel it doesn't change my answer, though. Even knowing that it's a hotbed for cheating, I'm like,
Yeah, and I'm not even saying change the gym necessarily now. But I could see it resulting in a fracture in the...
But at least if he just... I feel like it's... Regardless, he should set boundaries with the women.
I think both of us are in agreement of the exact action. It's a difference in like what we predict the results might happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So OP responded, I don't think I communicated it well in this post, but this is what I felt. People were so nonchalant about sleeping around. I trust my husband, but I also did not like his friends and the way they were talking about hooking up. As a married woman, I would immediately run if I found myself in such a group. It never even occurred to them that they are telling me about other girls flirting with my husband, and that was something wrong. And then Acrobatic Mechanic 265 says, if your husband is going to cheat, he doesn't need a gym. Yes, you are wrong. I mean, that's a good point. OP responds to that, but that's a good point. It's like, if you're going to cheat, okay, well, actually, I don't know if that's true, because it's like, there's the idea that if you're going to cheat, you're going to find a way to cheat. So it's like, doesn't matter where you're in. But there's also an idea of like, if you put yourself in situations where it's easier to make a bad decision, then you're more likely to be that bad decision. Like something that I'm a really big fan of is I think it's way easier to create an environment where it's great, like easy to make good decisions than it is to have the willpower to make good decisions.
Yeah.
And there's this book called Atomic Habits where it talks about how to eat healthier, right? And if it's like, if you put a 6-pack of beer in your fridge and you open the fridge, every time that you open the fridge, you are going to look at that 6-pack of beer and then maybe want to drink a beer. We have a giant bar fridge full of beer.
So we are the
right
exact
now.
antithesis of this.
Yeah.
And sometimes you open the fridge for a sparkling water and you don't look down, and then you have just taken a swig of vodka seltzer at 11 a.m.
You're an alcoholic.
Come on, Sophia. We expected better.
But like, I think actually, I don't know if I agree with this comment, because I think your environment dictates your actions way more than people think.
Your environment, as in like the environment could set you up for failure. So like put yourself in the best environments possible.
Yeah, so it's like put a loyal person in a place where there are people that are unscrupulous and that are constantly grabbing at your dong, like from the floor, like the underneath floors, and trying to just grab a piece. Like if you constantly have people grabbing for it, you might accidentally let one hold on, and by the time they're holding on, it's just like, oh, you know.
0.1 seconds later, it's over.
You know, and as crude as that graphic is of these little gremlins grabbing after dongs, I do think there is some like willpower can only take you so far, and you kind of have to have the you have to have the, I guess, like forward thinkingness to create an environment that makes it hard to make bad decisions.
And there's something to be said for a person who is intentionally trying to find those right environments. Like for me, for instance, I work out surrounded by sausages.
Yeah.
That is the key to success.
The key to success. Yeah.
That's right.
Like
One sausage in particular.
But yeah, I'm curious what y'all think. Like, do you think it's all about environment, or do you think it's all about willpower? Let us know. But OP responds, I don't think my husband will cheat. I trust him completely, but I did not like his friends and the hookup culture in his group. That is the reason why I feel it was inappropriate for him to hang out with them. You are the product of the people you hang around with. True. So I trust myself to never cheat too. However, I also do not go alone to nightclubs on Saturdays with my girlfriends. I just don't associate with people like that after I met my husband, and I expect my husband to also have wholesome friends. Which I agree with. Also, if you haven't read Atomic Habits, great book if you're trying to change your life.
Good wreck.
Yeah. Do you read that book?
You know, I don't know that I have.
Ooh, it's great. Riley, do you read that book? What? Sophia definitely didn't read it. She hates those books.
Hey. Hey.
Am I wrong?
Wait, I can't. Who's that? Who's that right there? I can't really see. Oh, it's Sophia.
Hey, there she is.
I have poor eyesight. You know. It helps me out.
But there is an update from rather recently, May 17th. So
Let's see it.
I posted this on a forum 2 weeks ago and was dragged by the subreddit for being insecure about my husband going to a CrossFit gym where he had friends with questionable morals. His friend told me about the hookup culture in the gym and how my husband is really loyal despite two women constantly hitting on him in the gym. Although I did not agree with many of you, I still decided to swallow my pride and talk to my husband about my behavior and apologize. I had already made him quit the gym. Wow. And he was going to quit in a month because that month was already paid for. The night of the post, I talked to him and told him about the post. He immediately read the post and was laughing hysterically at some of the comments, which I feel is a green flag.
Yes.
He told me that my question was wrong and he does not care if I am insecure or not. He told me that my mental peace is more important. W husband.
A king!
W
a
husband.
king amongst men.
W. To him than his friends, and he will still be planning to quit the gym. I think reading about how I felt about what his friends told me put my thoughts in perspective. He said he initially felt offended that I was questioning his loyalty and got angry at me. However, he understood my perspective on why I do not want him to be friends with those people. He said he still might hang out with them in a social setting, but will not be meeting with them regularly. He told his friends about his decisions and lied to them that it was the schedule not working out for him. Everyone was disappointed and tried to get him to continue. Many of the people guessed that I may be the reason for his sudden schedule conflicts, and the women told him that they only said good things about him to me. One of the married guys who had come to our house was talking to my husband a few days ago. He was asking him if I made him quit.
Oh.
My husband said no, but he kept on pressing and said that my husband was stupid to call Melissa, one of the girls hitting on him, to our house. He said he found my husband's audacity crazy that I invited Melissa to our place. My husband said he knew she was a little flirty with him, but a good buddy. This guy then tells my husband that he does not need to pretend with him, and he knew that my husband was sleeping with her.
What? Wait.
He told him he has seen how she looks at him and her body language and could tell. My husband called him crazy and said, and it seems like Melissa told some of the people at the gym that something was going on between them and he is off limit to others.
The audacity of being like, hey, he's off limits when it's like, You're the one cheating. He's supposed to be off limits to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only I can cheat with him, okay?
When you have no morals, you be jumping fences like a billy goat. It's like, oh, relationship?
Olympic level mental gymnastics. That's what these people do. That's what these people do.
Yeah, dude.
My God.
But like, shout out to them. Shout out the Simone Biles.
I mean, this is the Simone Biles of mental gymnastics.
But
truly.
hopefully she doesn't stick the landing and she can stick her nose where the sun don't shine in her own butt.
Yup.
And a sweaty CrossFit butt at that.
Oh,
so my husband denied that and asked if this guy if he knew that so many people in the group were hooking up. He said that is how CrossFit gyms work. Dang.
This is also a husband.
Yeah.
What is going on here? What is happening?
Maybe the husband was kind of looking like at it as a place to cruise.
Like to be able to find an affair partner.
Yeah. Riley's coming in with some
All right,
knowledge.
talk to us, Riley. We need a resident expert.
So whenever I first joined the CrossFit gym, I was like, oh, this place is cool, awesome. Like, there are attractive people there. But then once you get inundated into the friend groups after a few months, you start to realize, oh, you see they're friends. And it's like high school. It really just goes back to high school again. Because, like, dude, I know some crazy stuff that happened in my CrossFit gym. There was, like, one chick that definitely slept with, like, I think 3 guys there or something like that. There was an affair that happened there, too.
Basically very similar to what's happening
similar
here.
to this.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yeah.
CrossFit is a cesspool.
Yeah, and like one of my best friends stopped going because of a lot of the drama that was happening there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And you guys both joined a CrossFit gym?
No. We did not join a CrossFit gym.
Sir, let's set the record straight right here, right now.
What is it? A weightlifting gym?
It's just a gym.
It's just a gym.
It's a gym that looks like a WeWork.
Yeah,
that is literally
right.
what it is.
Yeah, they have
That's it.
CrossFit equipment, but there are no CrossFit classes.
There's no classes. Me and Riley, we just go with the boys.
Yep.
Right.
We go with the boys. That's it.
Yeah, I do want to hit up a class soon, though.
John's like, I swear.
I'm like, listen, don't throw any dirt on my name. Don't throw any dirt on my name, okay? You cannot turn this around on me.
It's sausages.
I'm here for self-improvement. Goodness gracious.
Man. It's how CrossFit gyms work. And he also had slept with a few women in the group. And this is a guy that has a wife. He said he was trying to get with Melissa, and that is when she told him that she is currently with my husband. What a jerk. My husband was laughing when telling the story and told me that he has heard that Melissa has spread rumors about him, and he's glad to quit the gym. Okay. See, this is like, at this point, I'm like, oh, wow, this is a cesspool. So then actually leave.
Yeah.
He told me about the guy's conversation because he does not want me to hear anything negative about him from someone at the gym who may have heard such rumors too. I don't know why, but my insecurity intuition alarms just started to flash, and I messaged 2 of the girls on Instagram confidently and asked them if she had heard such rumors. They both told me that Melissa was my husband's best friend. Wait.
Is the husband cheating or not? Because I think it's definitely possible.
Now I'm like, is he cheating?
It's very possible.
And is he just trying to get ahead of it?
Because Melissa's out here telling everyone that. The husband is like, don't lie. I've done this too. I've seen everyone in the gym do it too. I know you're cheating. I can see the signs. Other people in the gym are talking about it. He's like, maybe trying to laugh it off, or maybe really is.
But if he truly was, I think if he truly was cheating, then he wouldn't have invited all of those people to his barbecue.
Or is he just playing 69D chess and just trying to get ahead of all the paces? Because the poll right now is saying, currently polling 80%, yes, he is cheating.
I don't think
that is currently what the people are saying,
dude. I don't think he's cheating. Like, yes, Celtic Kit says like, oh yeah, he could be trying to get ahead of the rumor now, but like he invited all of them. So I don't know. I don't think
69D chess.
All right. It looks what
Checkmate
74% of you are saying yes, that he cheated. So I guess we'll find out pretty soon. They both told me that Melissa was my husband's best friend in the gym, and they would always hang out at the gym together and get breakfast, coffee, etc. The gym time was early morning, and they had heard the rumors, but they were completely false. They again told me how nice my husband was and that they are going to miss him. I know my husband is great and I trust him, but I still feel him quitting the gym is the right thing. I also am not sure if I should confront Melissa and tell her to stop lying about my husband. I think I'm going to let it go and enjoy the next month when my husband again joins our old gym where I work out sometimes. On a side note, I was seriously considering messaging that guy's wife about what he told my husband, but decided against it because if she asks how I know, I do not have any proof except his conversation with my husband. And there is a final update where we may get some more information.
I'm getting whiplash.
But quick question, John. I feel like a new question has been brought up.
Yes.
And the question is, should OP tell the cheating husband's wife?
I mean, did the guy admit to it?
The guy admitted to OP's husband.
I mean, that's pretty good evidence. Like,
Well, she doesn't have, like, she just, this is hearsay. It's essentially the same as, like other people
heard a
saying
rumor
Melissa.
saying
Yeah,
it.
she heard it from her husband, and that the cheating husband told OP's husband. OP's husband told OP.
Yeah. These are all, I mean,
Tell her nah. Tell her nah.
tell or not.
Come on, John.
Go to the husband and be like, hey,
Ultimatum.
I heard this rumor. You should really tell your wife. Like, tell your wife, or I will. Ultimatum. I feel like that's usually where we land.
I think that OP's husband should tell the wife.
I think it is better for OP's husband to say
Good
something.
point. It's a great point.
But I think the potential fallout and risk is high of like that husband being like pissed and aggressive or whatever.
Well, he's leaving the gym.
Yeah, but I mean, you could go to the other gym.
They're both in CrossFit. It's an equal match.
You think he's gonna like go to Planet Fitness and be like, boom, hey you,
Maybe.
you ruined it all for me.
Maybe.
I guess it's possible.
They're
I
like
mean,
hopped up on creatine and protein powder doing lines in the bathroom of freaking protein.
I don't know if I'd be worried about that.
And they're
Honestly.
thick and strong.
I mean, Riley, do you think that that's a like if this happened in your past group, could you see someone like trying to come after someone?
Yeah, I would say so because like this is again, it's like high school. It's a high school vibe.
They're like so immature that they might do that basically.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
like it's not the immaturity. Well, some people, because I feel like Melissa she's kind of like stirring the pot a lot anytime she can. I don't think the wife should talk to Melissa at all. But CrossFit gyms do have that high school social group setting, so that's why he invited her to the cookout. Because if Melissa didn't go to the cookout, then she'd be like, "Oh, what's going on there?" And then it'd be weird that she didn't go, and she'd feel left out.
I would tell anonymously. That's what I would do.
Yeah, tell anonymous. That's
Tell
good.
anonymously.
That's good.
And then it's just like, okay, like you don't have any proof, so it's like doesn't make sense to have your name in there, but just like
I
the
actually really
suspicion
like that.
should be raised, and then she could find out the information.
Tell
on her own.
anonymously.
Tell anonymously,
And like
then
look into it for yourself.
Yeah.
No.
But, you know, put on your little Sherlock Holmes hat, put on a pipe and magnifying glass, and look for clues.
Yeah.
Let's split up and look for clues.
That's the best way.
Right,
Swaggy.
But
You're cheating at the
That was like
CrossFit.
a Kronk voice, Sam.
Huh?
That was like a Kronk voice.
What? What's Kronk? It's like
Pull the lever.
Switch. Yeah, that was good. All right.
Thanks.
Update. As I said in the comment section, I did not find any conversations with Melissa on my husband's phone, which is suspicious.
You're right. Because he deletes. Good point.
Like, no conversations is super suspicious.
Yeah. Hey, you going to the class today? Or like, what was that workout? I don't know.
Oh no. I thought it was going to be okay. That's suspicious, right?
I think you're right. At first I wasn't, but you're right.
Yeah, I would be. I'm putting on my Sherlock hat again.
Let's see.
I asked my husband about it 30 minutes ago, and he got really angry at me for still being on that subject. He said he never talked to Melissa outside their sessions, and I need to let it go since he sacrificed his friend group for me. He never gets angry at me like this, and I felt I might have crossed some line with my insecurity. I did not tell him that I contacted his friends behind his back to ask about the rumors and about Melissa. I can't shake the feeling because if he never talked to her outside of sessions, but went to breakfast with Melissa.
That's it.
But,
Great cross-examination.
But do we know for a fact that
happened?
That the breakfast happened?
We don't know for a fact.
Wait, who said the breakfast happened?
The cheating husband? The other cheating husband? Right?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
Hearsay.
The husband told OP, the other cheating husband.
The other cheating husband.
Told, no, and then but actually we know because she messaged the two other friends and they said they're very close friends.
They did say that.
And if you're very close friends, why wouldn't you have any messages?
But did
Source,
Melissa
maybe.
say, I just went to breakfast and coffee with a man with a wife and was lying about that?
As a cover.
And
they're like, where were you this morning? Oh, I saw you leaving X place with OP's husband's name. Oh, we just got some breakfast.
Yeah.
Also, does the husband know that Melissa's been spreading around these rumors?
Yes,
Presumably.
yeah, he does. He
Yeah.
does. He,
Because
the husband.
He said so.
Yeah, he said
I believe.
he told the wife of the rumors. But I'm more saying that Melissa lied to the friends about even getting coffee or to spread this rumor further. But that seems like a weird rumor to spread.
Well, I was going to say, if the husband knew that Melissa was spreading rumors, wouldn't he have at least texted her to say, hey, stop?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't there be a text chain of that conversation?
The fact that he's been at this gym for months and has never texted Melissa. Also, how would he have invited her to the barbecue?
I think that this is overall too fishy to be innocent.
Pretty fishy.
Yeah.
I can't shake the feeling that he's not telling me something or that the women in his gym are lying. I do not want to go fishing into his phone again because I am worried he might find out I am still thinking about that issue. I am really not able to think what to do now. I also might delete this post later and post from a different account as he knows about this account.
Right. He's seen the post.
And that is where this story ends.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
What a cliffhanger. My
Yeah.
God. No questions answered.
Is he cheating or is he not? I want to hear from everyone else. But, John, what do you think?
Yeah. I think that, just give a yes or no answer. Yes. And I think everything here, like I said a minute or two ago, it's just too fishy. There's too many questions unanswered and like suspicious things going on for everything to be completely
Exactly.
innocent,
And if we use is it Occam's razor, Sophia? Okay. Occam's razor is this idea
You're the one who
that
always
the
brings it up.
simplest answer is usually the truth.
Right.
And if we're looking at it through that lens, the simplest answer is he's cheating.
Yes.
Because what we would have to construct for this alternative reality to be true is that he never texted Melissa, even inviting her to this barbecue.
Maybe
and after
breakfast.
Yeah. And those other two people are lying about the best friend thing and that they like went to breakfast together. Like there are all these things that would have to be, which, potentially could be
It's
true.
possible.
But it is way more unlikely and there's way more things that would have to happen for that to be true. Now, that final update I think is pretty damning.
Yeah.
It's pretty damning. Yeah. I feel bad for OP. Feel bad for OP. Here's another question. Should OP investigate further? All right. We have all the information OP has. Now where do we go?
I think investigating further is a good option because I think No, also just hearing like OP's tone and or just like how she felt about everything, I feel like this will continue to bother her until she has more conclusive answers to what's going on.
I mean, she either I mean, there's two options really. It's forget about it or investigate more.
Which is she gonna actually forget about it?
Yeah.
She wrote a whole Reddit post to strangers trying to get some type of clarity because it was bothering her so much.
Are maybe the girls trying to warn her?
Yeah. Are they giving like subtle kind of hints?
Things?
It
I
doesn't
don't know.
feel like that.
Yeah. Good question to pose, but yeah, I feel like they would probably just come out and say it more, at least more explicitly, at a minimum. Like, hey, you should that Melissa character, she's a little shady versus like, oh, she's just playing this game and they're like trying to flirt and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't feel that this group contains a lot of scruples. So the scruples are low. All-time low in the Scrupleville.
What a cesspool.
What a cesspool.
God.
But hey, that's CrossFit for you, I guess.
There you go.
But we have a community that is full of scruples.
Oh.
And it's you. And also, we're going to bring some of you guys on stage. Sophia is going to grab someone from the Discord to talk about either their, I don't know, CrossFit experience or a time that they have either been banned by a partner from doing something or they have banned a partner from doing something or seeing someone. And is that actual Birch?
Nice.
Actual
Woo.
Birch, we are bringing you up on the Discord in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Actual Birch?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very well. So you said you had a situation like this where you had to ban a partner or your partner banned you from seeing someone?
I have actually had a situation where I had to ban a partner.
Oh. What happened?
This girl was constantly going over to his house. It was his ex.
Oh.
And yeah, and I knew her. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I was under suspicion because she was always over there while we were playing video games together. Like, I would be at my house, he'd be at his, and I'd always hear her in the background constantly. And I was like,
what would you hear?
Like, she would just be talking, and I'd be like, okay, why is she here all the time? And he'd be like, oh, she's just here. And I'd be like, oh, well, at some point, can I come over? He'd be like, oh, no, I'm hanging out with my friends.
What do you mean friends? Are there multiple people there or is it just her, the ex?
It was his house. His parents were really, because he lived with his parents, so his parents were really cool with him having lots of friends over.
Okay, so at least it was in groups.
That was my assumption sometimes. But then he actually did cheat on me with her.
Well, there you
go.
He could kind of camouflage it because, so people are in and out of the house. The parents are cool and invite everyone over, but he uses that kind of as a cover.
Yeah, to get in and out. And
my goodness.
That is terrible. So, what did you do?
I left the situation.
Like you broke up with him?
Yeah, and we did end up going on and off a couple times. And then after a while, I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. And she ended up actually moving in with him and his parents at one point.
Well, it sounds like they deserve each other, honestly.
My
that
goodness.
is a terrible. And it's like, again, man has no scruples. You got to be with someone who has some scruples.
What does scruples mean?
Have you ever heard of unscrupulous?
Oh, okay.
Scruples are like morals.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Scruples.
Good to know.
And it's just like a fun way to say morals.
That is true. Now
Scruples. Well, I'm glad you left the situation, Actual Birch. And I feel like, honestly, I think like the green flag move is when your partner is like uncomfortable, you work to make them comfortable.
Yes.
Oh yeah, my husband. I'm married now, so my husband's incredibly like that.
Let's
I'm
go.
not comfortable with this. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
He values your. It's not even about the thing itself. It's about him valuing your like mental well-being and emotions and all that good stuff.
So question
And it goes both ways too.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I mean, two-way street with every relationship. But question for you with this story. So where it ended up, basically 90% of the OK fam is like, he is cheating. With the knowledge that we have from this story, what would you do in this situation with everything that we know? Would you break up with it, like the husband? Would you go investigating, go Sherlock mode? What would you do?
I think maybe some investigating and probably a lot of couples therapy would be best. Especially because he keeps getting angry at her for it.
Yeah.
That's the uncomfortable part. And the fact that he knew she was flirting the entire time and never addressed it at all is a really big problem.
Agreed.
Great points.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Actual Birch, and I'm glad that you are in a better relationship now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
Of
Of
course.
course. Thanks, Actual Birch.
See you in the chat.
See ya. Adios, amiga. Well, there you go.
So in Actual Birch's situation, the suspicion turned out to be actually true.
Which in our poll said over 90%, like all signs are pointing towards it's divorce.
Yeah.
I saw, I think it was not JC, but someone in the chat said divorce chant really early. And yeah. Fair enough.
I don't know if I would divorce, but I think I would do what Actual Birch said, which was investigate, then therapy.
If that's like investigate, therapy doesn't work, then ultimately divorce. It seems like it could be heading down that.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you. And see you tomorrow.